The alien girl stood at the edge of the human colony, hidden among the tall silver trees. Her glowing eyes watched carefully as humans moved about their strange world. To her, everything about them felt bizarre. They laughed too much, touched each other's hands, and whispered words that made no sense to her. She tilted her head in silence, wondering why such weak creatures behaved this way. Her people had always told her that humans were reckless, too emotional, too soft. In her world, emotions were considered dangerous. They made you weak. They distracted you from survival. But as she stood there, watching a group of humans share food and stories around a small fire, something inside her felt unsettled. It was like a spark flickering inside her chest. She took a step closer, her bare feet silent against the soft ground. The humans did not notice her. They were too busy smiling, too busy speaking in that strange rhythm of sound. To her, it was noise, yet it carried a strange warmth. She could not understand it, but she felt it, like a pulse in the air. One human caught her attention more than the rest. He was tall, with tired eyes, dressed in a uniform that marked him as a soldier. Unlike the others, he was quiet, watching the fire instead of talking. She stared at him longer than she meant to, wondering why his stillness felt different from the silence of her own people. Suddenly, a twig snapped beneath her foot. Her body froze, her heart pounded. The humans turned their heads sharply. The soldier's eyes locked on the trees. For a moment, she thought she had been seen. She crouched lower, her body blending with the shadows. But instead of chasing her, the soldier simply looked into the darkness for a while. Then he turned back to the fire. His calmness confused her. If he had known she was there, why had he not attacked? Her people had always said humans were quick to fight, quick to draw weapons, quick to destroy what they did not understand. Yet this one seemed patient. His stillness carried no threat, only curiosity. It was strange, too strange. The alien girl remained hidden, but her gaze never left him. She tried to understand his behavior. Why did he not speak? Why did he not laugh like the others? Why did he sit in silence, staring at something she could not see? Night grew deeper. Stars spread across the black sky. The humans slowly left the fire, one by one, until only the soldier remained. He leaned back, staring upward. His lips moved quietly, whispering words she could not hear. It almost looked like he was speaking to the stars. The alien girl's chest tightened. She had never seen anyone do such a thing. In her world, stars were not spoken to. They were only studied for direction and light. Yet this human looked at them as if they were old friends. The way his eyes softened made her heart ache. She did not understand the feeling. She did not want to. Against her better judgment, she stepped forward again, closer this time. Her curiosity pulled her like gravity. She wanted to hear, to understand. But before she could move further, the soldier spoke loudly enough for her to catch his words. "I wonder if someone out there is watching me too," he said softly, almost to himself. Her body froze again. Had he sensed her presence? His voice carried no fear, no anger, only longing. The words struck her like an arrow. Was he truly speaking to the stars or to her, hidden in the shadows? She held her breath. Her mind spun with questions. Her people had always mocked humans for their emotional weakness, yet in that moment, she felt something powerful in his voice, something stronger than logic, something that made her chest feel heavy. The soldier sighed and leaned back further. He closed his eyes, unaware that glowing alien eyes were still fixed on him from the darkness. She wanted to leave, to escape the strange feeling crawling inside her, but her body would not move. Instead, she stayed, watching the human until sleep pulled him down. Even then, her gaze lingered. She thought humans were strange. She thought their rituals were foolish. But tonight, for the first time, she felt afraid not of humans, but of what she herself was beginning to feel. When dawn came, she slipped back into the forest, unseen. Her people would never know she had been this close. They would never understand why her heart beat so fast, why her mind replayed the sound of a human voice speaking to the stars. The alien girl whispered to herself, her voice trembling with confusion. Humans are strange. But why do I want to see him again? Asterisk. The alien girl did not expect to return, yet the next night her feet carried her back to the edge of the human camp. Her mind told her it was foolish. Her people would never forgive such curiosity. Still, her heart ignored her logic. She hid in the shadows again, but this time her eyes searched only for him, the quiet soldier. The one who spoke to the stars. He was there, sitting near the fire with a few others. They laughed, traded stories, and shared food. But once again he remained silent, listening more than speaking. She tilted her head, trying to understand. Was he different from the rest? Or was this something all humans carried inside them? She could not decide. Hours passed, and the others drifted away to their shelters. Soon he was alone again. His gaze lifted to the sky, the same way it had the night before. His lips moved softly. His words floated into the night air. I don't know if you're out there, he whispered, but sometimes it feels like I'm not alone. Her heart skipped. He could not know she was watching. And yet his words struck her like lightning. He spoke as if he sensed her, as if he reached across the darkness to touch her without ever looking. This time she dared a step closer. The grass bent beneath her weight. Her shadow stretched near the firelight. The soldier's head turned slightly, and her heart nearly stopped. But he did not shout. He did not reach for a weapon. He only kept staring into the trees, his voice calm. If someone's listening, it's all right, he said. I don't want to hurt you. The alien girl froze. Her body told her to run. Her training told her to disappear. Yet her heart urged her to stay. Slowly, she crouched low and remained, hidden just outside the circle of firelight. The soldier did something unexpected. He pulled a piece of bread from his pack and placed it on the ground near the fire. Then he leaned back and closed his eyes. He said nothing more, but it was enough. The message was clear. She stared at the bread for a long time. Suspicion wrestled with curiosity. Was this a trap? Or was it an offering? In her culture, food was never shared with outsiders. To give food was to give trust. Could it mean the same among humans? The air was heavy with silence. Only the crackle of fire spoke between them. At last, when she was sure he had drifted into sleep, she moved forward. Her hands shook as she picked up the bread. She lifted it to her lips, tasted it cautiously. The flavor was strange, soft and warm. She had never eaten anything like it. Her chest tightened with a feeling she did not recognize. She looked at the human again. His eyes remained closed. His breathing was steady. He looked defenseless, and yet he had offered her something instead of drawing his weapon. For the first time in her life, she felt confused not by fear, but by kindness. The next night, she returned again. She told herself it was only curiosity, nothing more. Yet her steps were quicker. Her heart beat faster. The soldier was waiting by the fire. And this time, he did not pretend not to see her. I knew you'd come back, he said quietly. His voice was gentle, not commanding. He placed another piece of food near the fire, not looking directly at her. It's yours if you want it. She hesitated. Her glowing eyes narrowed as she studied him. He never moved closer, never threatened her. Slowly, she stepped forward into the edge of the light. For the first time, their eyes met clearly. His gaze did not carry fear or disgust. It carried calm, a steady warmth. He smiled just slightly, and it unsettled her more than any weapon could. Humans smiled too much, she had always thought, but this smile was different. It was not mockery, it was not weakness, it was acceptance. She took the food, sat down at a distance, and ate. The soldier said nothing more. He only looked at the fire and let silence surround them. For the alien girl, it was the strangest thing of all. Silence was familiar to her. But with him, silence did not feel empty. It felt alive. It felt like an unspoken bond. As the night deepened, she whispered softly in her own language, words that meant nothing to him, but the soldier turned his head and nodded as if he understood. Her heart pounded. She could not explain why. She could not explain how. She only knew this. She had crossed a line she could never return from. When dawn approached, she slipped back into the forest. Her hands trembled as she touched her chest. The taste of bread still lingered on her tongue. The memory of his eyes burned in her mind. She whispered to herself, almost in disbelief, "Humans, they give without asking, but why?" The alien girl returned night after night. Each time she told herself it would be the last. Yet each time her feet betrayed her, pulling her toward the strange warmth of the human fire. The soldier never asked her questions, never demanded her name, never pushed her closer. He simply left food near the fire and sat quietly, sometimes speaking to the stars, sometimes humming soft human songs. To her, this was both confusing and comforting. One evening, she found him tending to a wounded bird. Its small wing was broken. The soldier's large hands moved carefully as he wrapped the wing in cloth. He whispered gently to the tiny creature, his voice soft, his eyes filled with something she could not name. She stepped closer than before, her glowing eyes fixed on him. "Why do you help it?" she asked. Her voice was sharp, demanding an answer. The soldier looked up. Surprised but calm, he smiled slightly. "Because it's hurt," he said simply. "If I can help it live, then I should," she frowned. His answer made no sense to her. In her world, weak creatures were left behind. They slowed the strong. They drained resources. But here he was, wasting time on something that could never repay him. "That is foolish," she said, though her voice trembled. "Maybe," the soldier replied, gently placing the bird in a small box near the fire. "But sometimes foolish things matter the most." His words sank into her mind like stones dropped in still water. She wanted to reject them, but her heart whispered otherwise. She felt something stir, something strange and heavy. Another night, she saw him share his own blanket with a younger human who had none. He shivered in the cold, but never complained. His quiet sacrifice burned in her chest. She wanted to understand why, but the answer escaped her. Finally, one night she asked, "Why do humans do these things? You give away food, warmth, even your strength. What do you gain from it?" The soldier looked at her for a long moment, his eyes soft, reflecting the firelight. "We call it love," he said. His voice carried no hesitation. She blinked, the word heavy and strange on her tongue. "Love?" "Yes," he said. "It means caring for someone more than yourself. It means giving without asking. It means choosing to protect, even when it costs you something." Her heart pounded. The word sounded dangerous. It went against everything she had been taught. Her people believed survival mattered more than feelings. Yet here was this human, telling her that something invisible, something illogical, was worth more than strength. "That is weakness," she said sharply. Though her voice shook, the soldier only smiled. "Maybe, but sometimes weakness is stronger than any weapon." His words haunted her. She wanted to deny them, but every night she saw proof. Humans laughed together, cried together, protected one another. Their strange rituals, holding hands, sharing food, smiling, were not weakness. They were bonds, invisible yet unbreakable. One night, when danger struck, she felt this lesson in her own skin. A storm rolled across the sky, thunder shaking the ground. The fire sputtered in the wind. She stumbled in the darkness, a branch cutting across her arm. The pain burned hot. The soldier saw her flinch. In a heartbeat, he moved to her side. His hands reached for her wound. She froze, expecting fear or disgust in his eyes, but instead she saw only concern. His touch was gentle, his voice steady. "You're hurt," he whispered, tearing a strip of cloth to wrap around her arm. "It'll be all right." Her chest tightened. No one from her people would ever do this. Not for her, not for anyone. She felt her throat close, her words trapped. For the first time in her life, she allowed someone to touch her without fear. When the storm passed, she sat in silence. Her hand brushed against the cloth he had tied. The warmth lingered, not from the fire, but from him. "What you call love," she whispered slowly. "It feels Dangerous, the soldier nodded, his eyes on the stars. It is dangerous, but it's worth it. She could not look at him. Her heart raced, her chest ached, her mind screamed that this was wrong, yet deep inside, something had already changed. The lessons he gave her through food, kindness, and sacrifice were rewriting the truth she thought she knew. That night when she returned to her people, she could not sleep. The word echoed in her mind over and over: love. She had thought it was foolish. She had thought it was weak. But now she was beginning to fear the truth. Perhaps love was stronger than anything she had ever known. The alien girl thought she could keep her secret hidden. She thought no one from her people would notice her nightly visits to the human camp. But secrets have a way of slipping into the open. One morning, as she returned from the forest, her elder waited for her. His glowing eyes studied her with suspicion. His voice was sharp as a blade. "Where have you been?" She lowered her head, hiding the trembling in her hands. "Walking," she answered. But the lie felt heavy on her tongue. The elder narrowed his eyes, his tone turned cold. "The humans," he said. "You have been near them." Her heart stopped. Fear flooded her chest. She wanted to deny it, but her silence betrayed her. The elder stepped closer, his shadow looming over her. "Do you not remember our law? Contact with them is forbidden. They are dangerous. They corrupt what we are." She swallowed hard. Her voice cracked. "I only watch, I do not speak." But she knew it was not true. The bond had already been made. His food had fed her. His hands had touched her wound. His words had broken into her heart. The elder's voice rose. "If you continue this path, you will be punished. You will bring shame to us all." Her chest ached. She bowed her head. "Yes, elder," she whispered, but inside her heart screamed. That night, when she reached the human camp, her steps were slower. Her eyes carried the weight of fear. The soldier noticed at once. His voice was gentle. "What's wrong?" She shook her head. "I should not be here," she said softly. "My people. They know, they forbid it." The soldier's face grew serious. He leaned forward, his eyes steady. "Then don't risk it. If it puts you in danger, stay away." His words cut deeper than any punishment. The thought of leaving him burned inside her chest. Yet he offered her freedom, even if it meant losing her. His care for her safety felt heavier than chains. Her throat tightened. "You speak of this thing. Love," she whispered. "Is it love to tell me to go when you want me to stay?" He looked at her for a long time, his jaw clenched, his voice low. "Yes," he said finally. "Love isn't about keeping. It's about protecting, even if it hurts." Her breath caught. Her people had called human emotions weakness, but in this moment, she saw strength greater than any weapon. He was willing to lose what he wanted, only to keep her safe. The fire cracked between them. The silence stretched, heavy with unspoken words. She felt the forbidden's feeling grow stronger. It was no longer curiosity, no longer confusion. It was something undeniable, but shadows moved in the trees. Her sharp ears caught the faint sound of footsteps. Her body stiffened. Her people had followed her. Suddenly, a harsh voice cut through the night. "There she is!" The alien girl spun around. 3 warriors stepped from the forest. Their eyes blazed with anger. Weapons glowed in their hands. The soldier rose to his feet, standing between her and the warriors. His hand hovered near his weapon, but did not draw it. His voice steady. "She's not your enemy." The leader of the warriors snarled. "She is ours. She belongs to us." "Not to you, human." Her heart raced. Fear clawed inside her chest. She wanted to speak, to beg them to leave him alone, but her voice refused to come. The soldier did not move. He stood tall. His body was a wall of defiance. His calmness shook her more than the warrior's rage. One of the warriors stepped forward, raising his weapon. The alien girl cried out, "No!" Her voice cracked the silence. Her body moved without thought, placing herself between the soldier and her own people. The warriors froze. Shock filled their eyes. "You protect him?" the leader growled. "You betray your own?" Tears burned her eyes. She had never cried before, not once in her life. But tonight the tears fell freely. "He is not my enemy," she whispered, her voice trembling. "He is different." The soldier looked at her, his eyes wide, his lips parted as if to speak, but no words came. The warriors lowered their weapons slightly. Confusion rippled across their faces. The leader's voice shook with fury. "You will regret this. You cannot escape our law." They turned and vanished into the shadows. Their threat lingered like poison in the air. The alien girl collapsed to her knees, her chest heaving. Her hands trembled as she covered her face. The soldier knelt beside her, his voice quiet. "You didn't have to do that." She lifted her eyes to his, glowing faintly through tears. "I did," she whispered, "because the feeling I carry, it cannot be stopped." He reached out, his hand brushing hers for the first time. She did not pull away. The forbidden feeling was no longer hidden. It had grown too strong, too real. And in that fragile moment, she realized the truth. She could lie to her people. She could lie to the elders. But she could no longer lie to herself. This was love. The forest was not safe anymore after the warriors saw her beside the human. The alien girl knew her people would not forgive. Their laws were iron. Their punishment was cruel. Yet even with fear in her chest, she returned to the fire, drawn by something stronger than fear. She found the soldier waiting. His eyes were tired, but when they met hers, they softened. "You should not be here," he said quietly. His voice carried warning, not anger. "They will come again." She shook her head. "I cannot stay away." Her voice trembled. "Something inside me pulls me back. Even if danger follows." He sighed, his hand tightening on the weapon at his side. "Then I will stand with you." That night, silence stretched between them, not empty but heavy. The firelight flickered against their faces. She could feel the weight of something unspoken growing between them. The test came sooner than either expected. Shadows moved at the edge of the camp. Branches cracked, leaves shivered. The alien girl's heart pounded as figures emerged, warriors from her people, this time more than before. Their weapons glowed faintly in the dark. The soldier rose to his feet. Standing tall, his voice rang steady. "Stay behind me." "No," she whispered, panic gripping her. "They come for me, not for you." But the soldier shook his head. His eyes burned with determination. "If they want you, they'll have to go through me." Her breath caught. Her people spread into a half circle. Their leader stepped forward, his voice like thunder. "She belongs to us. Stand aside, human." The soldier did not move. His body became a wall, his weapon drawn but held low. "She belongs to no one," he said. "She chooses her own path." The warriors growled. Anger thickened the air. The leader raised his weapon, and in a flash of light the attack began. The alien girl cried out as fire cut through the night. The soldier moved fast, shielding her with his body. Shots rang, sparks flew. His weapon fired back. But he was only one against many. A blast struck near them, the ground exploding with dirt and fire. She stumbled, falling to the earth. Pain shot up her leg. She could not move. The soldier dropped beside her, his arm around her, pulling her to safety. Another blast struck. He groaned. His body shook. Blood stained his uniform. Her eyes widened. "No!" she cried, her hands pressed against the wound. "Why? Why would you do this?" His breath was heavy, his voice broken but steady. "Because love means protecting you, even if it costs me everything." Her heart shattered. Tears streamed down her face. In her world, no one sacrificed themselves for another. It was madness, yet here he was, bleeding because he valued her life over his own. The warriors closed in. Their leader raised his weapon again. "You will not leave here alive." But the alien girl rose to her feet, her body trembling with fury. She stepped in front of the soldier, spreading her arms wide. Her glowing eyes burned brighter than ever before. "If you take him, you take me too," she shouted. Her voice carried across the clearing. The warriors hesitated. Their leader snarled, "You betray your kind." "For him." "Yes," she cried, her voice breaking. Because I finally understand, love is not weakness. Love is strength. It is the only thing that makes life worth living." The soldiers behind the leader shifted uneasily. Some lowered their weapons. Doubt flickered in their eyes. Her words pierced deeper than any weapon. The leader growled with rage. "You are lost," he spat. "You are no longer one of us." He turned, signaling retreat. His warriors followed, their footsteps fading into the forest. Silence returned, broken only by the crackle of fire. The alien girl collapsed beside the human, her hands pressed desperately against his wound. Tears streamed freely down her face. "Stay with me," she whispered. "You cannot leave me now." His eyes fluttered open, a faint smile on his lips. "I told you. Love is dangerous," he whispered, "but it's worth it." Her heart ached as she held him close. In that moment, she knew her world had changed forever. No law, no elder, no punishment could erase what she felt. This was the test of hearts. And she had chosen her side. Asterisk. The human soldier's wound slowed him. His strength faded, yet his spirit did not break. The alien girl stayed at his side, tending to him as best she could. Her trembling hands pressed cloth against his injury, her glowing eyes never leaving his face. "You should not waste your time on me," he whispered weakly. "Your people will come back. They'll take you if you stay." She shook her head fiercely. "I will not leave you. Not now, not ever." But her words were tested sooner than she imagined. The next night, the warriors returned. This time they did not come with weapons raised. Instead, the elder himself walked among them. His presence was heavier than any blade. His voice thundered through the clearing. "Child," he said coldly, "step away from the human, return to us, and your life will be spared. Stay with him, and you will be cast out forever." Her heart pounded. The weight of her entire life pressed upon her. The faces of her people, her family, her history all stood in judgment before her. The soldier tried to sit up, pain twisting his body. "Go," he whispered. "Don't throw away everything for me." She looked down at him. Her chest burned. He would rather lose her than see her suffer. That was love, she realized. The very thing she had been running from now held her in chains stronger than iron. The elder's eyes narrowed. His voice sharpened. "Do you not see, child? He weakens you. He bleeds before you. He offers nothing but pain. Our way is survival. His way is ruin." The alien girl's throat tightened. She rose to her feet, her hands trembling. She stood between the soldier and her people. Her voice cracked, but it carried through the night. "No, elder, you are wrong." Gasps rippled through the warriors. Her glowing eyes shone brighter, her voice stronger with each word. "He does not weaken me. He makes me stronger. He teaches me to feel, to fight, to live for more than survival. He has given me what our laws never could choice." The elder's face twisted with fury. "Choice?" He spat. "You betray the blood that gave you life for a human?" "Yes," she cried, her voice echoing. "Because love is not betrayal. Love is truth. Love is the one thing that makes survival worth it." The warriors shifted uneasily. Some lowered their weapons. Doubt flickered in their glowing eyes. The elder raised his staff, trying to hold their loyalty. "She is lost. She's been poisoned by their weakness." The alien girl's hands clenched into fists. Her tears burned hot against her cheeks. "No," she said firmly. "I have been saved by their strength." Behind her, the soldier struggled to rise. His hand reached weakly for his weapon, but she placed her hand on his chest. "No," she whispered softly. "This is my fight." The elder advanced, his steps heavy. His shadow fell across her. "Then you are no longer one of us," he declared. Her heart raced. Fear clawed at her. But she did not move. She stood tall, her voice breaking but steady. "Then I will make a new path with him." The elder's eyes burned, but he saw the change in his warriors. Their faith wavered. Their silence was louder than rebellion. With a final glare, he turned away, his cloak sweeping behind him. "So be it," he said coldly. "You are nothing to us now. The warriors followed him into the forest. Though some glanced back at her with uncertainty in their eyes, silence fell once more, broken only by the soldier's ragged breathing. The alien girl collapsed beside him, her hands cupped his face, her tears fell freely. "They have cast me out," she whispered. "But I do not care, because I have chosen." The soldier looked at her weakly, his eyes heavy but warm. "You should not have done this for me," he whispered. She shook her head, pressing her forehead against his. "I did not do this for you alone," she said softly. "I did this for us, for what we are together." Her chest ached, but her heart felt lighter than ever. Against the weight of her people's judgment, against the laws of her world, against the odds of survival, she had made her choice, and in that choice she found freedom. The night after her people cast her out, the alien girl sat beside the wounded soldier. The fire burned low, its light soft against their faces. The forest was quiet, but her heart was louder than ever. For the first time, she felt both lost and free. The soldier stirred. His voice was weak. "You gave up everything," he whispered. His eyes searched hers with worry. "Why?" She touched his hand gently. Her glowing eyes shimmered in the firelight. "Because I finally see my people live only to survive. But you live to love, and that is stronger than any law." He smiled faintly, though pain shadowed his face. "You'll have to build a new life now." Her chest tightened. "Then I will build it with you." The days that followed were hard. His wounds slowed him. She hunted food, carried water, kept the fire alive. Each small act tied them closer. Not by ritual, not by law, but by choice. The bond they shared no longer needed words. It grew in silence, in looks, in touches that carried more than speech ever could. But the world did not forget them. Rumors spread. Humans began to whisper of an alien girl who walked among them. Her people whispered of a traitor who chose the enemy over her own blood. Both sides watched from the shadows. One evening, when the soldier's strength had returned enough for him to stand, they climbed a hill above the forest. Stars stretched across the sky like rivers of light. The soldier sat beside her, his voice quiet. "Do you regret it?" She shook her head. "No, I regret only the time I wasted fearing what I did not understand." She turned to him, her eyes glowing bright. "Love felt strange to me, but now it feels like the only truth." The soldier reached for her hand. His fingers closed gently around hers. She did not pull away. For the first time, she allowed the gesture to stay. Her heart raced, but not from fear, from something deeper, something stronger. Their silence was broken by the sound of voices. Humans appeared on one side of the hill, her people on the other. Both groups stood watching. Suspicion and curiosity burned in their eyes. The alien girl rose to her feet. Pulling the soldier up beside her, she faced them both. Her heart pounded, but her voice carried steady. "You call me traitor, you call him enemy. But look at us. Do you see weakness, or do you see strength?" The elder from her people stepped forward, his voice harsh. "You betrayed us." She lifted her chin. "No, I discovered truth. Love is not weakness. It is the strength that binds life together. He risked his life for me. He bled for me. Would any of you do the same for each other?" Her words struck like fire. Silence spread among them. Some looked down, unable to meet her gaze. The soldier stepped forward now, his voice strong despite his wounds. "And you call her different, but she has shown me more courage than any warrior. I have known. If this is betrayal, then perhaps betrayal is what both our worlds need." The humans murmured. The aliens shifted uneasily. A barrier that had stood for years now wavered. The alien girl stepped closer to the soldier. Her voice rang clear. "We are proof, human and alien. Together, not as enemies, not as rivals, but as something greater. If we can choose love, then so can you." Her glowing eyes scanned the crowd. Some faces softened, some hardened, but the silence was no longer filled with anger. It was filled with thought, with possibility. The stars above shone brighter, as if listening, as if bearing witness. That night, neither side drew weapons, neither side attacked. They only watched as the alien girl and the human stood hand in hand beneath the endless sky. Later, when the fire burned low and the voices of the others faded into the distance, the alien girl leaned against him, her voice soft, trembling. "I used to think human love was strange." He smiled, his arm around her. "And now?" Her eyes closed, her voice a whisper carried to the stars. "Now I believe it is the most powerful force in the galaxy." She thought she had lost her people, but she had found something greater, a bond that no distance, no law, no fear could ever erase. And as they stood together beneath the stars, she realized their story was no longer just theirs. It was the beginning of something bigger, a spark that might one day light the path for both worlds, a love beyond the stars.